Good morning, YouTube. How are you this morning? I am pretty good, and I hope you are too. It is about 10:30 Central Time, and I am here on the Fort Smith yard. I'm getting ready to leave. I just got through taking another shower. Problem is I started getting sweaty while I was doing the pre-trip. You just can't win when the humidity is like 75%. Not that it doesn't matter really. I'm getting ready to leave here. I'm not really sure where I'm going to stop today. I got about 458 miles to the consignee, but I do have a little bit of a dilemma. I did look last night on Trucker Path as well as my truck stop road atlas to find a decent truck stop, heck, any truck stop near the consignee. Couldn't find one within about 20 miles, 25 miles. There's a little mom and pop just past the exit that I have to get on, they take to get to US 50 to get to the consignee. And they got about 25 parking spaces. But about another 5 or 10 miles down the road, there's a Pilot and a Love's. The problem is if I go down that far, then I will have like a 30-mile trip. If not 40 miles, I think. I really need to look at it. It'll be a long trip, probably 30 minutes or more at least, to get back to the route to get to the consignee, because there's no direct route. It's like 50 and 44 split, and it kind of just and just kind of keeps on going. And there's no connector road between the two, at least not for a while. There's a Pilot in West St. Louis that I could stop at, which is on the route, but it still gave me an hour away, and that Pilot is notorious for being nasty. I mean, it's on the southwest side of St. Louis. It's just dirty. And the last time I was there, I was woke up all night long by creepy crawlers on the parking lot. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, because the consignee does not have parking. But I do need to call them and get very specific directions, because the directions on the Omnitracks are a little vague. So I guess we will see what the day holds. Stay tuned. Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you this afternoon? I am pretty good. It is a little after 6 p.m. Central Time, and I am in Pacific, Missouri, at the Pilot. I was coming down on the end of my 8 hours before I was going to have to take a DOT break, and I kept looking at the options to where to park for my delivery in the morning, and I really just couldn't find anything that suited well. There's an old scale house at the junction of 64 and 50. I thought it was a restaurant. It was actually an old scale house that I could possibly park at, but that's always kind of an iffy thing. Since I've never been there before, I don't really know it. And the next truck stop I could park at, the Road Ranger down the road. That's the last truck stop before I would get to the closer to the receiver, where I wouldn't have to go out of route. They only have 25 parking spots, and that's like practically in the middle of downtown. I talked about that one earlier. It's just a dump. It's a Pilot, but it's a Road Ranger. It's just a dump. It's just a horrible place. So I chose Pacific. I had to buy fuel anyway, and there was about half the lot still empty. So I went ahead and just parked here. They start receiving at 6:30 in the morning, and I can start this. I can leave in the morning at 4 a.m. Though I'm not going to have to. I'm only about 80 miles away, so about an hour and a half. So if I leave here at say 4:45, I'll get there before they open and be able to get delivered and still have plenty of hours left for the day, depending on what they have in plan for me. So I'm done for the day. The drive through the Ozarks, as usual, is a fuel miles killer. I'm down to 6.9. I was only doing 60 miles an hour. But this thing is really heavy. But that's the nature of trucking. I'll get the hang of this truck and get the fuel mileage eventually. My idle time from the beginning of the month, when I got this truck, is really high. So it's really having its effect on it. Mostly because the batteries wouldn't hold, and the Opti-Idle wasn't working. Well, the Opti-Idle works now, but if I'm not using anything inside other than the Park Smart, I don't need the Opti-Idle. So like if I decide to watch television or play my PlayStation, both of which are serious drains on the battery power, that I'll have to turn on the Opti-Idle for the night. I went to bed yesterday, and I was at Fort Smith, and I was up for about an hour, and then I slept for about 8 hours, and then got up. Just as I woke up, I heard the master switch click. Just a minute or two after I got up, which means the truck was low on voltage and shut everything off. It means the fridge lasted all night. So, providing I don't do a bunch of junk, the new batteries that they put in will hold the truck all night long. I'm not too concerned about the refrigerator. I mean, I got food in it and stuff like that, but it's not that big of a deal because I keep blue ice packs in the freezer of the refrigerator. So when the refrigerator goes out, or gets turned off, I should say, those blue ice packs keep the whole refrigerator cold for about 3 hours until they start to get soft. So I'm good to go on that. Nothing really else happened. It was a great day. I hit some really big storms around Rolla, and there's several accidents. One 2-car accident on the eastbound side. They slid off in the rain, probably going too fast, rear-ended each other and slammed into the cable barrier. I came up on that. It looked like it already happened, but a little bit farther up the road is going into Rolla. There was a tractor-trailer accident, and I had never seen one like this before. It looks like he got ran off the road or slid or something, but it was an international. I didn't see the company, couldn't read the lettering on the truck. They were pulling a refrigerated trailer, and he slipped. The trailer went this way, but the cab jackknifed. But when it jackknifed, the cab turned over. Bent. He hit whatever it was there hard enough that the cab turned over, twisted the whole frame, because the tandems of the tractor were still attached to the trailer, so it just twisted the whole thing out. Man, talk about ugly. That's one totaled truck. So, other than that, it's pretty uneventful drive today. It's nice, other than the little rain, and that wasn't too bad. And my new driving glasses that I bought for rain works really, really well. Cleared up all the glare and the fogginess of it all. So, gonna make myself something to eat, and then probably watch a little TV, or at least play on my iPad, and get an early start in the morning after I get up and take a shower. That's the way it's gonna roll. I got a couple of messages earlier. They sent me a message to confirm that I had set up the hotel for my home time for the student, if I have one, and I sent them the information on that, confirmed, and they sent it back saying, thanks, that's great, you should be getting a student this week. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Does that make sense? I'm looking forward to it because I want to start to pass on the knowledge that I have, and I want the money. I mean, frankly honest, I want more money, and having a student on the truck is more money. They'll probably get less miles, so they'll cancel each other out, but at least the money incoming will be nice. But I'm not looking forward to it because I value my privacy inside the truck, and I'm trying to come up with some ways. Of course, it's going to be cramped for 5 weeks or so, because my program is 5 weeks. Very few, if any, will ever get off this truck within 3 weeks. Just not going to happen. You got to be natural born trucker, or have had a lot of experience in the past, and you're coming back to trucking and you got it all down. So if that's the only time you're going to get 3 weeks off, 3 weeks out of here. Trying to come up with a couple more ways to get some space in the truck, as well as create more privacy, especially since I'm going to be training females. And I think I've come up with a thing I can do. The way this truck is designed on the inside, there is gap space on the top of the cabinets for the locks that bolt the cabinets in. I'm thinking about building some kind of curtain rod assembly to go across the between the tops of the cabinets up there, and put in some curtains, so whoever's in the top will have a little bit of extra added privacy when they're in that bunk. Kind of like if you've ever been in the military, or the Navy, or even in the Marine Corps. When you're on board ship, the bunks are small. Yeah, all your storage, you get a. This was back when I was in the service, back in the late 80s, early 90s. You had a stand-up cabinet, locker for some stuff, and then you had your bunk, and the mattress was only about that big. But they were really good mattresses. But you opened up the underneath it like you can in a truck, and there's storage compartments underneath it. Well, when you're in it, the space is only about 3 feet high. And I think it's about 3.5, maybe, about 3.5 feet above the bunk here for the roof. But you had curtains that closed, so you can enclose your space and have some privacy. I mean, it wasn't enough privacy to do anything personal, that people have a tendency to do when they're alone, if they're alone. But it would at least ensure a private space. Does that make any sense? And actually, the way the truck is designed, the way I've figured out, I might be able to do the same thing for the bottom. But if I did for the bottom, then I would isolate myself, and I wouldn't have access to my television and all that stuff. They're not going to have access to it anyway, because they're on top bunk. They wouldn't be able to see it. But if I can get the curtain rod in and get the curtains installed, I'll have to stop at a Walmart or a Home Depot to be able to get the parts. Because I'll need the wall mounts to hold a curtain rod, and then a curtain rod. But it's got to be closed mount so the rod doesn't lift off. And then of course the curtains. And the curtains, I can get the short ones you can use for bathrooms, and they come in dark color, so it'd be like blackout. And get that mounted and play that out. I also want to devise. I saw another trainer that had one, and I want to kind of copy it. He had a shelving unit built that mounted underneath the bunk, the upper bunk, against the wall, that used the bolts for the webbing that's on a truck to hold it in place. I thought it was really freaking cool. I'm gonna have to look at it. Maybe I can see him again and figure out how he did it, because that would add more space. The only downside is it would detract from my sleeping space, because it hangs down low. It's kind of I think it probably may even restrict the opening of the lower bunk. So this video is really long, so all that said and done, it was a great day, and I got all these plans in my head, and I guess talking to y'all helps get them out. So until we talk tomorrow, keep the shiny side up. 73s. See ya.